This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're going to install some FPV equipment today on the 180 to 250 or the 250 to 180 racing rail. Couple of ways you can do it, and it's evolving. It seems like almost every week or so. But of course, this is with nothing on it, you know, no FPV equipment. We're going to set this one aside. This is the 180 version, and I'm using some 6-bladed props on this. And here I'm using a Fat Shark camera and using the mount here, the metal mount, and you can set the angle on it. And the only thing I'm doing is, you know, taking the Fat Shark bracket or any, you know, camera that you're going to be using that has this type of a bracket. And let me get my mock up here. The only thing I'm doing is, you know, fitting it on this side, and I'm putting it on the top half of the piece, and you just center it up in here this way and this way, and you'll see it fits perfectly on this and this. And I just put it in the center here, screw it on, and then your camera goes onto it, and that's what it looks like when it's installed. And it works really good. The transmitter has a 90-degree antenna takeoff here, and it's a metal case. And if you might want to look this up too, and I'll put it down at the bottom of the description where I get them. But I tell you, and it's also on the product page, by the way. These are great. Metal casing. Here you're going to see your channel, and it's you know, it has race band on it also. You just press this button right here, and you'll see it changing, and you can pick the channel you want. Couldn't be easier. Just flip through it. Super easy to use. They already have brackets on either side made onto the casing, and this right here, I bend the bracket where it screws on just a hair bit so it conforms to the piece here. Let me get something to point with, just so it conforms to this right here, and so it'll come and bend over like that, and you shoot a screw in on either side, locks it in. And then your wiring is really easy to do. Of course, I'm using a 4-in-1 on this, so we had to solder a couple of taps off of the main power going to this 4-in-1. Super easy to do. We went over that with the electronics. And just take the wiring harness that comes from here to here, resolder a piece on, you know, a new plug onto this that comes with it rather, and solder the connection to the power. It just clips in. Works really good. I route it underneath or in between the controller and the 4-in-1, and it makes for a real neat job. Really neat job. Works really good. With this, and even with a higher angle, you catch about this much of the blade on either side, and even with it tilted up to about 60 degrees, believe it or not, you just catch the tips of the blades. And we'll have some footage on this, and you'll be able to see it. We'll go ahead and record some camera footage, and we'll have that out on the next video here in a day or so, and you'll see how much you know, the blade gets into it. But I tell you what, I like it. It's for me, it works really good. It kind of gives me, you know, a horizon to compare with. So works really good. And that's how it turns out. Now, another thing that we're doing now is, and I had mentioned prior that this piece here on the intro, we had mentioned about this piece here. I'm using the Session, GoPro Session to fit on here. And we're doing some 3D printing of these right now just to prototype some stuff. Let me show you what else we're doing with it. And this is just a couple of items coming in, or we're starting to mess with. But we had said before on the build that these pieces here, that the openings there were to fit other parts in. And this is one of them, and you'll see it just, you know, fits right in. And once you mount one screw, it's locked in. And we'll put this one in. Now what this is doing, it's giving us a point, and I'll show you in a second. The camera can go here. You have a nice good mounting place for your transmitter, your FPV transmitter. But it also gives you a nice flat battery area. So that's just a couple of them. Now if you don't want this piece here, you know, you can do this with it and mount the camera on here. And we're messing with a lot of different things right now, to where we can use these pieces, you know, for accessory mounts. Or, like I had said also in the build, is that these pieces can be used to fit into here to give us, you know, a body here. In other words, have a plate here and a plate here. So there's a lot of things coming up, and you know, as time goes by, I'd, you know, welcome all the input you guys can give, and you can either 3D print these parts, and we're going to make these pieces available, you know, upon request, and as we're prototyping, and you're more than welcome to print these up yourself to use it. Once you have this piece right here, this setup right here, you can alter these any way you want if you want to try different things out. And the only thing I ask is just let me know what you're doing with it, and we may incorporate it into you know, some of the parts that we'll be using. But you know, pretty neat. Again, with all QuadLugs, you can build it how you want, and so it gives you a lot of leeway in you know, changing things, you know, and doing different things with it. So let me put this aside. So you can go ahead and, you know, install the camera and the transmitter, and again, you're keeping it the lightest you can get it. There's nothing on there. It's extremely light, and works real good like this. Now with some of the prototype parts we're using, we not only have this on here, but this is the camera. This is how it works out to hold a camera. So you'll see, good place for a battery mount. You can put Velcro here, or, you know, the silicone rubber there, or however you want, and it gives you a nice area right here. You'll notice that this piece here is flush with this piece, so, you know, it doesn't intrude into the battery as long as the stud is not protruding through the nut very much. But you know, this is nice and flush with it. Works really good. This is coming out really nice using it like this, and again, this gives you that flat area, you know, to mount the transmitter on. This is our 250 here, so using it either way, you know, with the 3D parts or, you know, without, it makes for a good install, and it works really well. But once these you know, get finalized, we'll go into production with these also. So, you know, it'd be parts that can that'll come with it, and also to be able to be added on as time goes on, as, you know, more parts or more accessories come out with it. And as far as mounting the FPV gear, you can see it's simple. Put the bracket on, put the camera in, mount the transmitter. You have, you know, 3 wires here to solder, 2 here. You're in business. You're rocking and rolling. You need to change the channel, again, press here. You'll see the channel you're changing it to. Super easy. Works really, really good. You know, if you have any other ideas with it, let me know. But Makes for a super easy camera setup, and again, it works really good. We'll have some footage coming up on it, and as always, we'll keep you posted. This is Danny with QuadLugs. If you need anything else, please let me know. You're gonna like these. These things fly crazy, crazy good. And let's see how much these things weigh. Let's see if you can see that okay. And this is the 180, and we'll put it on. This is everything but the battery. And let me turn this around. We're looking at 350 grams. $350 grams, and everything but the battery on the 250 looks like 365 grams.